Hello and welcome to the Small Business Happy Dance. My name is Rachel and today I'm interviewing Annie Taylor from One Life and Style. She is a life coach and image consultant committed to helping clients and making positive change and lives happier. Hello and welcome, Annie.
Thank you for having me, Rachel. It's always just really great to have a chat with you. So this is just an absolute bonus for me in my week.
Do you want to tell me a little bit about your business?
I suppose that one of the things that people ask me quite a lot is, you look like you've been doing this for ages. How long have you been doing this? So, yes, I have been doing it for ages. I've kind of been a life coach forever. Before life coaching was a thing, I was the go-to person to sort people's lives out. And in fact, I remember where I was working once, a colleague said to me, you should have your own TV show where you sort their love life out, you sort their houses out, help them redecorate, sort their style out, take them shopping and all of that, sort their career out. And I thought, oh, what a lovely idea. But it's kind of been going on for that long. Since I was in my teens, I've been helping people, but in a way of encouraging them to discover themselves rather than, lecturing.
So how long have you actually been in business?
Been in business for since the end of 2018. That's when I set up for myself. But I qualified yonks ago. And in fact, before there were qualifications for life coaches, we were doing it another way. Prior to that, I built my own structure around coaching people. I used to get a lot of requests for help, particularly, I don't know why this is, but particularly around interview preparation. I have no idea why. I was just attracting all these people over a couple of years of, can you help my friend? Can you help my boyfriend? Can you help me? Get ready for interview. And I used to approach that in the way that was totally not, you may get asked these questions, but more from a perspective of, okay, let's just get really clear about who you are and what you want and how your values fit with this organization, how your values fit with this role. And what that did for them was it made them leave. I mean, I used to have a flip chart, I used to get my coloured pens out and, and all that kind of thing. And they used to take these sheets of paper away, walking taller and just having this sense of, okay, now I know who I am. It doesn't really matter what they ask me because I'm ready for anything.
I love that. And values are so important in terms of your business, life, decisions. I've definitely made decisions on some temp work when I was temping in London based on whether my values would fit an organization. And sometimes you wouldn't discover that until you're in the interview. But, you've got to, for me, it would always feel like I was going against something very primal. If it went against my values, I may not have been able to use those words at that time. I may not have known it was my values, but that feeling, and you can use that, can't you, going forward? Like, does this sit with me?
I think that's so important. And this is my bag, really. When I'm coaching, this is what it's all about. And so many clients kind of say, I don't know if you can help me. I don't know what I want. I just know I don't want what I've got now. And for me, I mean, I could almost like rub my hands together when I hear that. That's fine with me. You don't need to know exactly. And sometimes when people think they know exactly, it's not that anyway. So it's when I start work with someone, it has to be about, what really matters to you, what's most important to you. Let's look at your life priorities and let's just debate those a bit. Let me push you on this a bit. Let me challenge you on that a bit. And, so you've got a really clear picture of what's most important, and however you want to label that, that's the stuff that then you need to be working with. And that's to do with your career, that's to do with your romantic life, that's to do with family life, that's to do with everything that you want to do going forward has to fit with that. Because, you know, Rachel, you're so right. If you can't get that bit right, if you can't get clarity on that and start living in a way that mirrors that, it's sort of like, it's not much hope really. You know, you're going to end up at some point in another year or another 5 years or another 10 years kind of saying, oh, I don't know what it is, but I just don't feel excited about life.
Definitely. I think that's really important. Yeah, you'll end up going down a road that is not the one you wanted to go. And yeah. So there are lots of different types of coaching, aren't there? And could you just describe them for me and how you would work out which one you would like? Because I think there are, I mean, I did do a quick Google earlier. There seemed to be like a coach for everything. Like, how would you know that you needed what you offer, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think you're right. I think coaching's kind of gone through a bit of an explosion in recent years, and you can find a coach for just about anything now. You know, a nutrition coach. You can find personal trainers are coaches in their own way. Coaches to help you with your business, coaches to help you, you know, with your you know, with your fears and phobias. What I do is I do a certain amount of the rest of that as well. So a number of my clients are small business owners, and we work on the personal and the professional goals. But I suppose in the main, you would look to me for positive life change. And that then does relate to anything to do with your relationships, and that's your relationship with yourself. So health issues come into this as well. People that are trying and failing to lose weight or doing that yo-yo thing with health matters. People who are, you know, continually attracting the kind of relationships they really don't want. You know, a whole range of things that kind of trickle through life, causing havoc in their own way. But at the point that you know you're ready to do something different, even if you don't know what that is, that's the point that you want to be working with me.
And what can you expect from coaching?
Well, again, all coaches have their own different style and so on. But for me, well, first of all, it's going to be challenging. You're paying me to help you overcome something. You're paying me to help you, you know, create a new life or a new career, or get you over that, you know, up that next rung in your career ladder, or whatever that may be. So yes, of course, I'm going to earn my worth, and, and I'm going to push you. But we will also have a laugh, because that really matters. And I think no matter how bleak something looks, you can always find something to laugh about. We will always have a laugh. You will feel supported. What I do not do, and I feel really strongly about this, so I'm going to talk about this, Rachel. What I do not do is build a dependency with my clients. And I feel really strongly about this. It is about empowerment. So working with me is about learning to be strong, learning to find your strength. And, you know, you and I were talking about, you know, building, you know, body strength earlier. And I always talk about it in this way, that if, you know, if you go to a trainer, or if you go to yoga or Pilates or wherever, there's a lot of talk about building that strong core. And what I do with my clients is help them discover and build a really strong emotional core. So that's a journey, but it's not a journey that I want to encourage dependency in. In order to get strong, you have to learn to be independent. You have to learn how to work things out, how to cope for yourself. at the moment I'm doing a goal planning program, so they have several sessions, and then after that they go away. This is not about weekly sessions or monthly sessions over years. This is not how I work. This is about building your emotional strength, building your resilience, so that you know you can bounce back, you know how to handle stuff. And then when you reach another platform, that's okay, come back, let's take you to the next level then. So I do have clients that return, once a year, once every 18 months, that kind of thing. And they come back very excited. I've achieved my goals and I've done more, and of course I'm not surprised, because this is what I do. But they're really surprised. Then they want to come back and do the next thing.
I love what you said about resilience, because there is a potential for that relationship to become dependent, and some people who aren't familiar with coaching might think you go in and the person's going to tell you the answers to everything. That's definitely not what coaches do, and it's definitely not the experience I've had with good coaches. They definitely do not tell you what the answer is. They make you do the work to get to your answer, because it's you about. I always think of it as about finding your truth under the noise and all of the maybe social expectations and pressure to pay your bills and whatever, and it's about burying through that. And the coach asks questions. This is how I see it, and the questions get you to go a bit deeper and deeper, so you can get back to what is it within me, and how am I going to keep honoring that part of me, and is this other stuff really necessary, and is it what I want to be doing? That's how I see coaching. And I've definitely had it in different settings, and it's been really, I really love it. And the coach that I work with, she was training actually in one of my jobs in the NHS. She really unlocked a lot of the path that I'm on now, because she just asked a load of questions, and then I would then repeat those questions to myself going forward. Like if I was making a decision about something, I would use her questions, like, to really check in with myself. And I personally really love that process. So and I really love that thing of, you set them on their way, they come back in a year. And that must have so much confidence within you. Once you come back in a year and you've achieved, wow, you're going to feel like on top of the world if you've achieved all your goals.
They do. They feel really powerful. And I think a lot of them, I can tell a lot of them are slightly skeptical about, the whole goal planning thing. Okay, so I've done goal setting before. It's only half the journey, let's be honest, goal setting. So, I've done that before, and it's kind of worked and it kind of hasn't. And, okay, I'll give it a go. And then, I can see they're only half believing that they're actually going to do all this in the time that they've said they will. And I use timeline for this, and NLP as well as coaching. There's a really nice mix in there. But they are always surprised, and I do say to them, okay, you've this is the date that you've set your success day for. Sometimes it can be an actual date. Sometimes it's a month and a year, sometimes it's a season, but sometimes it's an actual date. They might say like, 15th of November 2021, and they've done it before that, because by the time they finished the goal plan, it's kind of a living document within them. I do send them a document that shows them, this is your plan. It's okay if you don't want to look at it. It really doesn't matter, because I know you're going to do it anyway. And they do. But in terms of the questioning and so on, it's I'm happy that you've had a good experience of life coaching, because it is all about you finding your answers. No one else can do that for you. And if they tried to, it would not be your truth. But sometimes people feel a bit intimidated by that. The whole thing of, I don't know. But that's okay. I get my post-it notes out and we start making plans, and sometimes say, okay, let's just do a shopping list. Let's just start from there, and then gradually we dig deeper. And I did have one client at the end of a session who sat there quietly. He was looking at his knees, looking at his lap and nodding his head. And he looked up at me and he said, "You've been really clever, haven't you?" He said, "You've managed to get me all the way around here without me even realizing it." But that's my job.
Yeah. I love it. What advice would you give someone who's looking for a coach?
I always think that the chemistry is hugely important. And so I think that's the first thing that you want to be looking for, actually. And then I think the second thing is your stuff their bag? Because we all have our own, I don't like to use the word specialty, but I haven't yet come up with something to replace that word with. But we all have our own thing. And I know someone who's a great coach and hypnotherapist who said, I'm just not into the coaching. I love the hypnotherapy. I'm just not into the coaching. It's like, that's fine. That's just not his bag. So first of all, the chemistry, and then make sure you find someone who really has that interest and that passion for what you need. And it has to be both of those things together.
The journey teaches you the skills and the resilience and the strength that you will need for the next. You will then learn things on that are skills that you can, it's like a muscle. What is your best coaching tool, would you say?
Intuition and experience. That's two, I guess. Oh, I don't know if I can separate them, actually, Rachel.
That's okay.
Can I have two? Intuition and experience. Yeah. Dovetailed. Yeah. I think I've always had this ability to pick up on, and it's been said more than once that it's as if there's a sixth sense at work there. And when I went and trained for NLP, which I did with the amazing, I don't think many people here have heard of him, but Tad James and David Shepherd. Tad James is in Hawaii and David Shepherd's in London, and they were just an amazing, in those days they came like a duo. But when I did that, I started to realize that actually this isn't about a sixth sense. I've always had this ability to notice this stuff, this acute stuff. And then in learning NLP, it's like, oh, well, but I'm doing that anyway. So there was a bit of formality put around it. But I think that was it's always been I want to use the word talent, because it's something that's just been within me since I was a kid, since I was quite a small kid, to be able to notice and then draw stuff out. I think some of us have, a real gift for doing this kind of thing. A lot of people, there are thousands of coaches out there now, and some will go and learn how to do it. And others are just, like me, you just have this kind of gift that you've been given from wherever to be able to do this really, really well. But it's also, in some respects, a burden. Being that intuitive can be a burden. So, I've had experiences in personal life where, friends have kind of stayed away, they've suddenly distanced themselves because they don't really want to, things that sometimes we make bad choices in life, don't we? And some of us are aware while we're making those bad choices, but we don't want to be around the people that will call us out about it or be able to read us. So, yeah.
Can make for some interesting meals out if you're ever at a meal and you're like, and then you hear something, you're like, Spidey sense. So this leads quite nicely on to people who may have made some bad choices and might be going through a breakup. Do you have any coaching tips for getting through a breakup?
Going through a breakup is different for everyone. And, you know, we all feel some kind of pain, but the pain that one person feels is going to be different to the pain that another person feels. And the way that you have to cope with that is really individual. And it's great to have friends around you to give you some support. But how many of us at the end of that supportive phone call or that supportive meal out have, you know, put the phone down or gone home and just felt deflated again? Because when your friends aren't there with you, giving you those positive words of encouragement, you no longer know what to do. So the answer in my mind is always to find your own path, to build a new picture. And then, of course, we go back to this emotional core. Let's strengthen that emotional core so that regardless of what the future may or may not look like, you know you're going to be okay. You know you're going to be happy. And you know you've got stuff to look forward to. So I think it's important to be able to, you need the right kind of support to build that strength, and then to be able to get creative about the future.
I love that. And you are running a workshop, aren't you, in October around breaking up and bereavement and a time for a fresh start, I think the title is. Tell me a bit about that.
Yes. Well, yeah, this is about, you know, what if life was just all chucked up in the air and you had to pick up the pieces and rearrange them somehow. And when you have been through when you're suffering a bereavement or you've been through a breakup, that's exactly what life feels like. It's as if there's been this massive kind of tsunami that's washed everything away, and you're left with the remnants of something. It's so painful, and we all know this, you know, in some way we've all lost someone who has been really dear and really left a hole when they've gone, in, you know, whatever way that's happened. And so this workshop is about looking at, okay, what do I want life to look like now? And again, you know, it matters not if you don't have a clue. That's fine. Just to know that you want to wake up in the morning and feel like you've got something to look forward to. You know, truthfully, in here, not just a holiday on the calendar, but truthfully, in your heart, you feel like you're happy. The sun's come up and you feel happy to be here. So yeah, that's what it's about. It's about creating that vision of what can be. And I'm including a vision board pack with this. This is something that I've recently started doing with clients. Can I show you a very scruffy one?
Yeah, go for it.
Sort of Blue Peter. So the participants will get a pack where they can make their own vision board, and then, you know, display it somewhere. Pin it on the wall. You know, have it on your desk. You know, plaster it all over the bathroom cabinet if you want to. But there's something about doing this that I really love. There's two things, and it's the kinesthetic experience of it that you don't get when you're working on screen. So, you know, the cutting of the paper, the gluing and sticking, and the textures, you know, the smells of the paper, everything to do with that. So that kind of reinforces the vision that the participants are going to be creating for themselves. And then, of course, they've just got this wonderful, it kind of acts as a souvenir of their experience, but also there's this visual thing of, okay, this is what I'm going to have. This is what I'm going to have. It's this reminder, a bit like, you know, putting a note on the fridge saying, you know, eat an apple instead of cheese or whatever it is, you know. So much fun. So it's an emotional journey, but it's also a lot of fun because it's like, you know, they can feel their world opening up and all the possibilities there before them.
Wow, I feel inspired to go and do some vision boarding. That's amazing. I feel like I might want to attend. I haven't had an bereavement, but yeah. Wow, that was just, yeah. Annie, I love your energy.
This is the thing, it's all quite deep. It for some clients it feels really deep while they're on this journey with me. For others it's, you know, it's not so much. It's a very individual thing, but it is empowering, it is inspirational, and you know, that's what I love about it. It's just, I just love seeing that change and knowing. I'll go really deep here, Rachel, for a moment, if I may.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, we have this gift of life. Now, talk to any teenager in particular, and they'll probably say, well, I didn't ask to be here. No, we didn't. But we are here. And let's just make the most of it. What I always think is going to be really such a shame is for anyone at the end of time to look back and say, I wish I had done. You know, that's the thing. If I could wave a wand over the whole world and remove that risk that anyone would have that thought at the end of life, I would do that. That's what really matters to me. I just want people to make the most of their time here.
That reminds me of the book Five Regrets of the Dying. I think it's Anita Muharji. Anyway, the book is, yeah, it's amazing, and it talks about things like that. The regrets are all very, very similar. You know, 5 things that most people regret. A lot of it is spending time with family and wishing you'd spent more time with family. Things like taking more risks. So yeah, you don't want to be on that deathbed thinking that, do you?
No, and I don't think anyone is going to be in those last moments of life saying, I wish I spent more time at the office.
Nobody says that. I wish I'd worked harder is not on the 5 regrets of the dying. This has been actually a very emotional podcast. Yeah, it's been really inspiring. And I will leave all of Annie's links in the description. So if you were interested in attending the workshop or you want to contact Annie about coaching, all of her details will be below, including her social media handles and, as I say, her website. So definitely go and check those out. Thank you, Annie, so much for spending time with me. This has been, I feel like I've been coached.
Well, it's been lovely to chat with you, Rachel, and I'm very wordy, so you know, I could go on all day. It's just something I feel so passionately about, so it's been really nice to have the opportunity to talk with you.
You speak so eloquently about it. I love it. So please, if you enjoyed the conversation I had with Annie, please like and subscribe. And as I say, check out her details below, and I will see you next week.